888-833-9393.
Is this the title?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Both of LA's NBA teams are facing elimination from the playoffs in their next game. The Lakers need to bring it tonight in Game 5 against Minnesota. The Timberwolves lead the best-of-7 series 3-1. If the Lakers lose, this will be the second straight year they have been eliminated in the first round. 7 p.m. tip-off on TNT. Shout out to Lakers star Luka Doncic. Doncic donated $5,000 to cover the entire cost of restoring a mural in downtown LA featuring Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi. The mural, designed on a building on the corner of 14th and Main Street, was vandalized over the weekend. As for the Clippers, they forgot to bring their defense to Denver, especially when it came to defending Jamal Murray. Murray lit up the Clippers with 43 points in a 131-115 win. Denver now has a 3-2 lead in the series. They can eliminate the Clippers in Game 6 Thursday night at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. With so many shows on our station weekdays and weekends, it's hard for me to keep track of all the guests who are actually in studio on any given day. I wish I'd known in advance that LADA Nathan Hochman was coming in studio for a recent interview. Had I known, I would have loved to have personally greeted him and then asked him why LA City Council member Karen Price is being criminally prosecuted for allegations of misconduct similar to the conflict of interest violations for which former City Council member Kevin De Leon is only being fined. What's that about, Mr. DA? In fairness to Mr. Hochman, it was former DA George Gascon who actually filed felony charges against Councilman Price. I opined then on how these criminal charges against Price did not pass the smell test. I was concerned then that this was yet another wayward prosecution of a high-profile black elected, not to mention a waste of taxpayer money. I am even more convinced now that this is a hot mess. To be clear, neither you or I want a bunch of self-serving, greedy, conflict of interest criminals managing the people's business inside LA City Hall. But we also don't want selective or targeted prosecution of black politicians. We've seen that movie before, and we don't need a sequel. It's hard to watch Kevin De Leon get away with paying an $18,000 fine for repeated ethics violations, what he calls an oversight, and at the same time, watch the DA's office continue its criminal prosecution of Karen Price for issues allegedly involving his wife's clients. Motions, I might add, that were passed unanimously by the LA City Councilman. What are you saying, Tavis? I'm glad you asked. DA Hochman did not start this inquisition, but he certainly has the power to stop it. I have said it before, and I will say it again. Fundamental fairness. In the absence of fundamental fairness, we experience a cascade of deteriorating conditions. The erosion of trust, the weakening of social cohesion, alienation, marginalization, the legitimacy of authority diminishes, cynicism and disengagement grow, and ultimately, people abandon civic participation altogether. Fundamental fairness, Mr. Hochman, that's all we ask. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
It sure is, and I always love it when folks come and hang out with me in the studio. So much more fun than doing it by phone. And that's what we're doing for this Wealth Building Wednesday. We're joined by the founder of Lifeaholik. He's a veteran in the Southern California health and wellness space, a 5-time triathlete. Competed in multiple 100-mile cycling races, a certified yoga, meditation, and spin instructor, avid adventurer, and traveler. Ooh, what a great bio. Captain Tyrone Davis, welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, great to have you in. So Lifeaholik is your business.
Right.
And you got the hat on.
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
What Lifeaholik is actually a nonprofit, and the formal name is the Lifeaholik Movement. And what our mission is to create safe spaces for people to evolve beyond their fears through mental, physical, and spiritual means. So we've curated and created safe spaces through events, experiential things, and we've also partnered with local school districts to teach yoga and sound bowl meditation to youth in the community.
Sound bowl, as in the sound bath, sound healing
bath.
vibe. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And we've done workshops for adults as well down at Crenshaw Yoga and Dance, and just to build community. And that's the overall objective, is to build community and help people become more self-aware and resilient, and inspiring people to live a more authentic life, to evolve into who we truly are meant to be.
Now, captain is not a made-up name for you. You're a fire captain.
Fire captain.
Yeah.
Right down the street.
Because, this is L.A. People give themselves titles. Empress Dominique, Lord Miles.
That's hilarious.
We do.
You're right.
It's an L.A. thing. Yeah. Okay, Captain. But you're actually a 25-year vet of the Los Angeles Fire Department.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, April 3rd of this month made 25 years.
Wow, congrats. That's serious business.
Yeah, and I've actually, this community in particular is near and dear to my heart. Leimert Park.
Africatown, USA, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, just because it's great, why is it near and dear?
Well,
it is pretty awesome.
I was born and raised in Compton and moved towards to Inglewood, and I spent a lot of time in the Leimert Park area, and I've I guess built a life around this community. In particular, I remember when Fifth Street Dix was down in Leimert Park.
Yes, I remember Fifth Street Dix.
Yes, ma'am. And actually, me and my buddy, we affectionately named Leimert Park Harlem in L.A. because it was the blackest space to get all your culture.
Yes, it still is. So, you also, people may know your face from the Survivor, the reality show Survivor. How did that end up happening?
It was very random, but what happened, a buddy of mine said that he worked for a different fire department, and he said a casting agent was going around asking for people, looking for people, over 40, African American, maybe interested and so on and so forth in doing Survivor. And initially, I was like, nah, I'm not doing that because I'm not in the lying and conniving and, so on and so forth. But I'm pretty big on integrity, even if it's $4 million, right? So I made the call, and one thing led to another, and there I was the black guy.
Right.
On Survivor, there's always one, right? But no, it was an awesome experience, and it was interesting.
But you almost won.
No, well, I was fifth, voted off fifth, which to me was a win because a lot of times we're the first ones off. The horror movie situation. Right. And I don't watch much TV. That was the interesting thing, and there I was. So I'm thankful for the opportunity. Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, a lot of people know you from that, but that's kind of fits in with your, I'll just say, the way you see yourself. I mean, reading the bio, snowboarding in Japan, mountain biking in Uganda, scuba diving with sharks in South Africa, an adventurer.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I believe life is about what you make it. And I'm curious about life, and I'm always wanting to find new things. Like I heard the previous gentleman on that was on the show this morning on the station.
Reese, yeah.
Right. And Malcolm is one of my heroes. He is the epitome of courage, right, and authenticity. But one of the things he said, he was a lifelong learner. And as am I, because I think it's interesting, it's exciting to learn new things. And I also believe that if you stop learning, you stop living.
Yeah. And your brain, can atrophy.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, but that's how I see it. You don't want the brain to go flaccid. So I'm assuming that all of these things, whether it be Survivor or your own personal sense of adventure, goes into Lifeaholic in some of these lessons and teachings that you give through the organization.
Yes, ma'am. It absolutely does, because I'm a firm believer that you have to believe something. If you can perceive it, you can believe it, and you have to believe it before you can achieve it. So I believe that I can be anything I choose to be, and I believe all of us can be anything we choose to be. We just have to want it bad enough. And it's a mindset shift, if you will. I'm not one to become complacent, right, personally. And because if you tell me no, I'm not going to believe you. Because people ask, what makes you think you can do this, that, and the other? Or what makes you think I can't, right? And I don't know what I cannot do because I was never taught that growing up. I was never told. So if you told me no to something, and it's something I want to do, it's going to happen, whether it's happened before or not. And if it's happened before, someone else has done it, then I know it can be done again. And I have everything that I need to get it done. It's a mindset, for sure.
So how do you teach a mindset?
Introducing perspective. One of the things that I've worked on is delivery, because I don't want the message to get lost in the delivery. And I've worked on tact, if you will, because sometimes, and I'm not saying that like I don't speak, from my perspective, it's not aggressive, but I do speak a matter of factly. And one of the things I've learned to do, because at one point I would say, I'm just keeping it real. I'm telling you the truth. You just don't want to hear it.
Right. You can't handle the truth.
Right. but I think that's kind of leading with ego. Okay. And the reason I say that is because what I've come to realize is that in order to effectively communicate, you have to speak to people in a language they understand. And you have to speak with an objective. Do I want you to understand the message that I'm trying to convey to you, or do I just want to keep it real and talk to you the way that I learned it? Because our generation, we were taught to differently than they are now, for sure.
Yeah. Well, no, I relate to what you're saying, because that used to be my favorite thing to say as a supervising producer of my own radio shows. When an intern or someone helping me would come and ask me, my favorite thing to say was, figure it out. If you can't figure it out, what do I need you for? Then I could just do it myself.
Absolutely.
Well, that may be factually true. It's not helpful in creating the creative environment that I want to work in.
Right. Absolutely.
So I realize it's better to refer back to myself. What did I not make clear? What could I have done for this situation to have unfolded in a way that I would consider better?
That's awesome you say that, because you now ask yourself, what could I have done? So one of my core values is personal accountability, right? Because that way, I'll present a situation, and however it turns out, right? But because my overall objective is to hold myself accountable, some lessons are more painful than others, if you will, but I'm committed to the lesson, right?
Right.
I give myself time to deal with my emotions, and then I'll self-reflect and say, okay, that didn't work out as well as it could have. So, TD, what could you have done differently to make a better outcome? Sometimes I may be 3% responsible, sometimes 97%, but I'm going to own that wholly because I never lose. I either win or I learn, which is a win-win.
And if we claim to be leaders, then that 3% is still a key 3%.
It absolutely is.
Otherwise, we might as well just, follow.
It absolutely is. And so when I take personal accountability, it prevents me from taking up permanent residence in victimhood, if you will.
Right. I feel like when we find ourselves blaming, then we have to look at what's going on with us.
Absolutely, and that's
or I have to look at what's going on with me.
Right.
Put it that way.
Well, that's one of the things that I'm introducing, in Man Talk 2.0. My latest
coming up on Saturday.
Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay. Emotional regulation, which is a workshop for men. We're going to talk more about that when we come forward. What does that even mean? Sounds important. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
You really about to do it?
40 acres and a mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
Who among us doesn't like black music? But Kendrick is right. This moment is so much bigger than music. These are serious times. We've got serious problems, and we need serious people who understand that slogans are not solutions. When you want substantial and sober analysis about things that matter to you and the ones you love, this is where you turn. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. If you missed our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall, the Altadena Eden Fire, 100 Days and Counting, you missed an evening of reverence, reflection, and reality.
You gotta live in the reality because this is it. Every day, you wake up, is this my life? Don't stay in denial because yes, it is. Don't stay in bargaining where you're praying for a miracle and if it wouldn't have happened, then this is what I would have done. It did.
Our panel participants kept it real. Really real.
I think, number one, it's amazing to me how we ignore systemic racism in our community, and as a people, we've apologized for so much, but when will we stop apologizing for what we have paid for? Because the truth of the matter is we paid for this.
You can always count on KBLA Talk 1580 to give it to you straight, no chaser. When you love folk, you tell them the truth. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
The Comedy Connection series featuring KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, has hand-selected supremely talented comedians to roast all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number because Ray, he's going to text it live and the crowd will be sourcing emojis. Tickets are moving swiftly, so don't hesitate to grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing condition.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
It sure does, and I'm glad you're here. Captain Tyrone Davis is with us. He is the founder of Lifeaholik, his organization. You do fitness, yoga, sound baths, but also emotional management. That's not what you call it.
Emotional regulation.
Emotional regulation.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a workshop Friday,
right,
for men only.
Right.
Why men only, and what are you guys learning, teaching?
Well, it's the workshop. It's a 3-part series. It was the first Friday of April, which was April 4th, and the focus was stress and building resilience. The second one is this upcoming Friday, May 2nd. And it's on emotional regulation. And then the third is June 6th, and that's based on facing fear, right? And fear is what I believe is the number one thing that inhibits us from evolving into who we truly are and to live authentically. And there's two basic fears. One fear is fear of the unknown. When we don't know the outcome of a situation,
which is always
right. It can be scary, right? Because if you think about it, when we're kids, what's the number one thing we're scared of? The dark, right? And then we create a narrative, the boogeyman and so forth. And that happens with us as adults as well. A lot of times people will not engage in a conversation that needs to be had for fear of the discomfort, potential discomfort, because you don't know. So what I'm doing is offering some techniques for people to engage in dialogue and communicate, right? And when you communicate, it's in hopes that you get the information that you need to empower you to make an informed decision, because you have the information and it allows you to be the victor instead of the victim.
So you said there's two types of fear. Fear of the unknown. What's the other one?
The other one is fear of judgment.
Fear of judgment.
Yeah, we worry about what other people are thinking about us so much.
I wish we didn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I think that fear is the opposite of love or trust, if you will,
right?
Because the more fearful you are, it can be said that the more fearful you are of a thing, a person, event, or what have you, the less you love yourself.
Interesting. I like the Dune quote, "Fear is the mind killer." We seem to be in a season of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fear of the unknown? What's happening in Washington? What's happening in the world? What's happening with Black history? I want us to pay attention and be active, but I also don't want us to be paralyzed by fear. I don't want us to live in fear.
Absolutely. I definitely, now more than ever in my lifetime, the fear is significant in society. And the way that I choose to manage it, if you will, is to get all the facts that I can, right? And then operate according to those things. And then also the things that play into my decision template, if you will, is experience, patterns, history, and it's interesting to me how people are, and I'm not in the politics like many people are, because I think everybody has their thing, but it's surprising to me, based on the history of the people that are in the White House right now, that people are still surprised.
So all of these things, Man Talk 2.0,
Mm-hmm.
that's happening. That's happening Friday. It's happening June 6th.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have programs for youth.
Yes,
A
ma'am.
lot of youth stuff, right?
Yes, ma'am. And we're still building. We have our website up, lifeaholic.com. And if anyone wanted more information or ideas or questions, you can email me at info@lifeaholic.com. And what we've done...
Lifeaholic with a K at the end, right?
Thank you for that. Yes, Lifeaholic with a K at the end, not a C. Lifeaholic.
Info@lifeaholic.com. So if they want to find out about signing the young person up for some kind of program that you have, or the old person, or the middle-aged person.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. It's universal. It's like you mentioned, this is Man Talk 2.0, right? And you ask why men.
Why men, yeah.
Why men? Well, it's going to be Man Talk, and it's because that's my priority right now, but ultimately we plan to do one for ladies, and then a universal one. And the reason is because in my line of work, it's male dominated, right? And in my circles, I talk to men quite a bit, and I have what I call drive-by conversations. Drive-by meaning that they're quick but impactful and powerful, right, with the people in my circle. So we talk about real things. Guys are vulnerable, and people are dealing with stuff. Brothers are dealing with stuff, and we're suffering in silence because we were not only taught to ignore our emotions, we're taught to actively suppress our emotions, which is very, very dangerous. And people are suffering in silence. And I know about 7, 8 people that have committed suicide. And I know 2 of these people are personal friends.
Yeah, it's a lot of
right.
folks. And we know that just from the data that suicide among black men is up. You know, the why is not, well, men don't deserve their own spaces. It's just wondering where you're coming from with it, and how men are responding to something with emotional in the title or facing fear in the title. To your point about all these expectations about men being tough and suck it up and keep it pushing.
Hilarious. Well, it's great that you asked that question, because I knew I wanted a 3-part series, right? And I was wrestling with which one to put first. Initially, I was going to put facing fear first, but I talked to a friend of mine who is an LMFT, and I said, I'm confused. I'm wondering which one I should put first. And she said, I would say stress first and fear last. The reason is you have to get people to trust you, to open up. And that's the whole point, is to create a safe space for vulnerability. And stress is something that everybody can relate to. So it's safer to go in. I wanted to go straight. Let's get to it, right? But it's not about me. You understand what I mean? And also, I ask questions of people because I don't have all the answers. I like learning, but and one of the things I like learning from is experiences and the experiences of others, you know. So people who have done a thing more than me or have more experience, I'm going to ask and get some insight, and I'm thankful for that. So it is an undertaking, and I've heard people say things like, "Oh, you got your hands full." And I say, well, I got big hands.
There you go. Well, the thing is, I'm glad to see men, especially black men right now, seem to be embracing more yoga and maybe some kind of emotional, circles, whatever they need to find a way to deal with that stuff and not suffer in silence.
Right. And that's one of the things I'm most proud of, because I am not. If someone was to say yoga, they wouldn't look at me and say, "Oh, you don't practice yoga. He plays this or does that." You know what I mean? But I do yoga, scuba dive with sharks, and snowboarding, all these things, and triathlons, and the things that one of the statements that I've heard several people say, "Oh man, you doing white boy stuff." And I'm like, what? Right? And so I'm letting people know through my actions. I mean, like, I am my brand. Lifeaholik is to be addicted to maximizing life's positive possibilities. And
he has labeled himself. His shirt says, "I am amazing."
I am amazing. And the funny thing, quick story about that. Go ahead.
We're up against news, traffic, and sports. You want to, we're rapping, but we can, I can hold for a quick story.
Well, the quick story is.
We don't have time for the quick story, but we can do it after news, traffic, and sports. You want to wait and tell me the quick story real quick after news, traffic, and sports?
For sure.
Cool, Miles? We good? We good. KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. On Tuesday, the 688 Central Postal Directory Battalion, the only black all-female unit to serve in Europe during World War II, was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal for processing 17 million pieces of mail in 3 months. Their families were on hand to receive the honors. President Trump is hosting top business executives at the White House today, promoting their investment in the United States. The list includes Johnson & Johnson, Eli Lilly, GE Aerospace, and SoftBank companies. The U.S. Postal Service is now helping with deportations. New documents reveal the U.S. Postal Inspection Service is cooperating with federal immigration officials to identify people they suspect may be in the country illegally. And Black Country star Shabuzi's first headlining U.S. tour, Great American Roadshow, will run for a month starting September 22nd in Indianapolis, Indiana. General tickets go on sale this Friday. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. and their weight. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Both of LA's NBA teams are facing elimination from the playoffs in their next game. The Lakers need to bring it tonight in Game 5 against Minnesota. The Timberwolves lead the best-of-7 series 3-1. If the Lakers lose, this will be the second straight year they have been eliminated in the first round. 7 p.m. tip-off on TNT. Shout out to Lakers star Luka Doncic. Doncic donated $5,000 to cover the entire cost of restoring a mural in downtown LA featuring Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi. The mural, designed on a building on the corner of 14th and Main Street, was vandalized over the weekend. As for the Clippers, they forgot to bring their defense to Denver, especially when it came to defending Jamal Murray. Murray lit up the Clippers with 43 points in a 131-115 win. Denver now has a 3-2 lead in the series. They can eliminate the Clippers in Game 6 Thursday night at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's.
The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers.
We can help you understand the disease
and give you tips for living a better life.
Find your answers at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
KBLA Talk 1580 and the California Black Chamber of Commerce invite you to the Small Business Development Workshop, How to Do Business with California Government, on Thursday, May 15th at Victory Park in Pasadena, 2575 Paloma Street. Get certified and register as a new bidder. Sell products and services to the state. Learn about pre-bid events and more, and it's all free. All you have to do is sign up at www.calbcc.org. That's www.calbcc.org. Registration for the Small Business Development Workshop, How to Do Business with California Government, begins at 9 a.m. and the workshop concludes at 1 p.m. on Thursday, May 15th at Victory Park in Pasadena, 2575 Paloma Street. This is a community call to action from the California Black Chamber of Commerce and KBLA Talk 1580. This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Why, thank you so much, Captain Tyrone Davis.
You're welcome.
I have my own I Am Amazing shirt now. I'll probably wear it tomorrow.
Indeed, you are amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So, yeah, we were talking about the Man Talk 2.0, which is your workshop coming up Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Well, doors open at 6:30. Punctuality appreciated. I have a feeling that's an understatement. It's at the Tree Yoga, 918 East 60th Street, Suite B, Los Angeles. This is for men. Mm-hmm. Refreshments, mats, and journals provided. Go to Lifeaholik with a K at the end.com. And you do training. You do fitness training for people. You do emotional management, yoga. And you were about to tell us a quick story.
Oh, the quick story is about the the shirts, the branding. I am amazing affirmations, right? I just saw a need. Like I said, people were in need. The world needs more love, connection, good energy, if you will. So I believe in the power of words. So I said, how can I impact others, And so I created a line of shirts, affirmation wear. And this one says, I am amazing. I was getting it placed in a retail location, and I'm looking to get it in more retail locations. I have shirts and hoodies, but the guy said, I'll support you. I'll let you put it in my space. But a guy like me, I wouldn't wear I am amazing, because I don't have to tell people. I'm not that kind of guy. I said, well, that's the thing. It's not about you. Everyone you come into contact with, the first thing they're going to see is I am amazing. And then you're planting a seed in them. When I travel, around the world, sometimes I wear this, and people that barely speak English, they go, oh, I am amazing. That's wonderful. I love that. And it's just a connect.
So you're affirming them.
Exactly.
Because they're not going to read, you are amazing. They're going to read, I am amazing.
There it is. The power of words, subliminal messaging.
Mm-hmm. And also, this is on some as a man thinketh or as a woman thinketh, so shall he or she be, right?
Absolutely.
We're telling ourselves, I'm broke, I'm mad, I'm angry.
Yeah, absolutely.
You ain't ish all day long.
And you start to believe it too. The woe is me. That doesn't help us in any way.
So you're here.
Mm-hmm.
You're hanging out with me longer.
Right.
I wake up and I find myself complaining. I'm talking to my girlfriend and I hear myself complaining. What do?
Stop complaining. So,
Sounds
and in
easy.
order, no. See, that's the way we used to say things.
STFU, that's how you do it. Right. That's the Gen X, just get it together.
Yeah. So, what you do is, and it takes practice, just like meditation and yoga. And the more you practice, the better you get at it. So I'm at a place now where I can sense when I'm complaining, or when I have a negative mindset, or when I'm not operating at my highest self, right? And I do what I call an autocorrect. So I with box breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you to calm down and chill out a little more and relax, right? So I've created a version of that I call taking yoga breaths. It's a conscious breath. If I feel like I'm taking my mindset or my thoughts are taking a negative turn or a negative pathway, I'll consciously take a deep breath, inhaling positive things that are going to serve me. I'm inhaling peace, love, and power. And then I'm exhaling the things that are not serving me. I'm exhaling pain, doubt, and fear. And I'll do this for as many times as I need to, but it works swimmingly well for me. And those negative thoughts, I've also developed a technique we'll talk about at Man Talk 2.0, where you can become a thought leader, because the fact of the matter is that we're in control, and just because we have a thought does not mean that we have to think it.
Right. I can't remember the book. It was one of the many, many, many self-help books I like to read, where they talk about disciplined imagination, where we actually have a choice about what we fill our minds with.
Right.
So here's another scenario. My friend calls and I hear her complaining. Now it's not me. I might be going about my day doing something productive or whatever. Now I hear her complaining. I want to be there for her. I don't want to get swept up in the woe is me pity party. So then what do?
It's great you brought that up. It's a great question. One of the things that I do is now I simply listen. I don't judge. I don't try to fix it. I listen. And then once I listen, I ask this question: do you want me to listen, or do you want my feedback? And I've had some say, well, we're having a conversation. Of course I want you to. Why you got to be all stoic, right? And my response is, because I want to be the friend you need in this moment. So I'm asking you to tell me what you need from me, right? I know it's not personal. I actually think it's a good thing because my friend is comfortable enough to share with me. But I understand your point, because some friends can suck the life out of you.
Or I can get sucked into it. Yeah, girl, I hate that too. This is, people are so trifling. Blah, 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 blah. What is wrong with people? Yeah, it's always something.
Yeah, and it's almost like a trauma bonding type situation.
Right.
So for me, that doesn't happen because I'm very conscious. No, it really doesn't. And people who have talked to me know, I mean, you can call any of my friends that I don't do that. I don't do the pity party because I'm big on self-awareness and personal responsibility. And I find a way to say, okay, what are you going to do about it? Or what was your part in it? Because you can't control whatever the source was, if it's an external source.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. But sometimes you need your friend to just be like, girl, I got your back. Who we got to go kill? Where are we burying the body?
Right. So
that there's something about that. That's what your day ones are supposed to do at some point.
Right. So in my mind,
don't worry, I got the shovel. I'll be around to pick you up in 10 minutes.
Can I respectfully disagree with you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So the way I deal with that is, I'm a true friend. The way I see friends is not the one that's going to go along with your foolishness. The real friends are going to hold you accountable as well. Okay, not just a yes person. Oh, let's go do this. Okay, no, that might not be the wisest thing to do.
I mean, but it doesn't have to be a yes person. It's a feeling that somebody's got your back, a ride or die. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Again, I'm not going to let you drive off the cliff, but I will get in the getaway car.
But I'll get you halfway there.
No, I'll drive the getaway car. We, hopefully we'll get away someplace peaceful and wonderful.
Right. So as a friend, I'm going to steer you on the path of righteousness, and for me that includes accountability, courage, integrity, and love. These things. Which, I mean, just
Jerry says friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Yeah.
Understood, but I think we can agree to disagree on this. I'm not going to let my friend do, okay, yeah, let's go do some heroin. But there is a thing of, you want, like you said, is it that you want me to listen? You want to hear my opinion? But there's also a part of like, I got you. That's important.
Right. So also, if someone's coming to me with that, I think it's understood that they know I got you. But they also, because I'm pretty consistent in who I am, they also know what that means when I got them. So if someone wants
okay, let's go run 25 miles and you'll feel better. Is that what it means?
No, well, I'm gonna offer some healthy alternatives, right? But I'm also not a person that I'm not complicit with foolishness. So if you're on some drama and all this nonsense, I'm not a go along to get along type cat. I'm just not built that way. If you on some foolishness, and I've done it, and many people, even from 30 years ago in college, say one thing, TD, you consistent and you're gonna keep it 100. And they appreciate that, as opposed to telling them, yeah, man, forget them, man. Relationships. If someone was talking to me about relationships and they were wrong, I'm like, nah, bro, you a foul. You need to fix that. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of community I'm talking about building, is people who hold each other accountable. Like please share.
Well, they're talking about you in the chat. Loyalty over logic gets us in more trouble. But then
exactly,
forensic accountant says if she puts his stuff out in the yard, I'm bringing the U-Haul, and that's me. I gotta be your ride or die.
No, I got it.
But and I'm gonna be the one going, you know what? We know that you're a great person. I'm gonna build my friend up. That doesn't mean I'm going to co-sign on foolishness. It just means in that moment I'm going to build them up.
And I think we're saying, because I'm very loyal too, right? And so we're probably saying the same thing with different words. And I'm trying to find the words to get you to see that I'm with you, because loyalty is everything, but logic is above loyalty within reason. Because when I say that, I'm loyal to doing the logical thing. We'll just say
Miles,
it like that.
Is logic above loyalty? It's an interesting question. I never asked myself that.
Right.
I mean, I understand. It sounds like what he's saying is his loyalty does have a little bit of self-preservation is the number one law. I'm not going to jump off the cliff with you, but I love you.
Right. I'm not going to compromise. I'm not going to compromise myself if I know that you're on some
logic over loyalty, love over all.
There it is, right there. Ooh, can I put that on a shirt?
Put it on a shirt and wear
I like it. But there's one quote like that's really huge to me. And it's by Rudyard Kipling. It's the strength of the wolf is nothing without the pack, and the strength of the pack is nothing without the wolf. So basically, it creates a community of reciprocal relationships, if you will, where if one of the wolves is faltering or not operating at their highest self, their best self, another wolf will step in the gap and will still accomplish the mission and make the pack whole, if you will. But that also includes accountability, right? Because we're human beings and pretty dynamic with emotions and ego and all these other things.
I mean, I feel like we are in this might sound like complaining, but I feel like there's an element of eternal infantilism that happens in our community with both men and women. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm going to act like I'm 18 forever, which, you know, okay, do you, but the reason that I bring it up is because the question is, is there a lack or a growing gap in accountability? Or is it just always been tough?
You know, that's a great question.
To man up or woman up.
Right. I don't think there's it's growing, or maybe it's just that I see it more now than I used to, you know, because there's a definite lack of accountability. I think that's why things continue to happen. That's why with cops shooting unarmed people and so on and so forth.
Our society as a whole, not with black people or with men or with women or elders or younger, just as a whole.
As a whole.
And I know you say you're not political, but I am. Uh-huh. And to me, when you get into a national space where we are right now, where lying becomes the normal at the top of the pile, that's always a dodge of accountability.
Absolutely.
You know, just lie your way out of it, then you never have to take responsibility for your actions or things you set in motion.
Right. Yeah. Well, this is a interesting dynamic in that the people in power, if you will, operate the way they do and have operated the way they do for a long time, and yet people still support that behavior. And I guess that is, he made it safe. He made it safe to operate that way, you know, without accountability and things of that nature. And so many people are still, they've always wanted to do certain things, but he made it safe to do so because he's the leader, if you will.
Yeah.
And so he did it, so it's okay for the rest of us to do it. But I think people are waking up now, maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe the movement towards, as I referenced earlier, you know, I see more men, particularly black men, doing yoga, doing meditation, self-introspection, and less likely to scoff at that or laugh it off or think of it as airy-fairy.
Right. Airy-fairy, I like that.
So I didn't make it up. So that means that maybe we are getting back to more accountability because we when we meditate, or when I meditate, when I do yoga and self-reflection, I am more likely to take an inventory of what is going on with me and my role in the way things are.
Right. No, and I agree with you, and I'm part of the movement, right? And I'm creating more and more safe spaces. Like we'll be having more men in yoga workshops and things of this nature, the self-care spaces. And that's one of the things I'm also promoting is the ability, providing tools and techniques to do self-reflection, right? Because when we're always like people who stay in victimhood, if you will, or victim mindset, they tend to blame everything on everybody else. I'm one that believes that I have a lot of power and I have to be responsible for my power. So I do what's necessary to be the best version of me that I can be. One of the books that I mention quite often is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, right? And the subtitle is The Toltec Guide to Self-Mastery. And that part resonates with me because I can't do anything about what's going on in your world. I can maybe have some influence. I'll give you my perspective, insight. However, I'm totally responsible for this person in this body.
Well, Captain Tyrone Davis, I think you have just talked your way into staying with me all the way through the hour. So can you hang out for till the top? We're almost
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah.
All right. Continue the conversation
thank
when
you.
we come forward. Long before there was a Deion Sanders, there was a Fred Drumpf. Okay, forensic accountant. 800-920-1580. If you want to talk to the captain, Captain Tyrone Davis, CD, he's here. I'm here. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha, Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen.
And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese. Ah. I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth. Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
And we don't. This Wealth Building Wednesday has stretched out a bit, which is great. It's fun talking with you. If people want to get involved, maybe, is it all separate or is it all part of Lifeaholik? Like, oh, I'm going to do my fitness over here, then I'm going to do my yoga and sound bath over here. I'm going to do my emotional management and accountability partner training on this piece. Or is it all one kind of project?
It's all one project, and we're building it out to have different divisions, if you will. But if anyone has questions, comments, or concerns, or just curious, feel free to email us at info@lifeaholic.com. And our Instagram is Lifeaholic with a K. Excuse me. We're going to have more workshops and projects coming up. For the last 6 or so years, we've curated trips to the Kern River, where we've had people come out.
That's whitewater
rafting. Yeah, whitewater rafting.
Back to your white person activities. I've never been whitewater rafting, but I heard it's very, very fun.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. And most of the people, believe it or not, are in their 40s and above, right? And it's their first time camping in tents and being in nature and seeing
not
the
glamping,
stars.
camping.
Yeah, no, we do it real, and it's beautiful. And the connection, the human connection with the people that are there, because I'm very specific who's in my space, and I try to do as good a job as possible to monitor energies, if you will. You know what I mean? Because I'm not. It's a healing space. Like when we go camping, people are there, and we just develop bonds that are just. It's just strong bonds, like-minded people, progressive thinkers, people who business owners, people who care about the community, and people who are conscious about their health, wealth, and well-being.
We all need to get outside more.
Oh, we absolutely do, instead of staying in the concrete jungle.
I mean, I feel like, one of the beautiful things about Los Angeles is that you can be in a country in 2 minutes.
Right.
Go to Kenneth Hahn Park.
Right.
Go to the beach.
Right. Right.
Griffin Park. We're a country in the city.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We have so many options here, and that's probably why it costs so much, that and the weather.
Yeah,
but
right.
But really, and actually, Kenneth Hahn, there's so many places. That's my meditation spot. When I get the opportunity, I go up there and meditate by the Japanese koi pond or by the lake.
Get that vitamin D, black folks.
Oh yeah,
we need it.
Yeah, I love it. So, yeah, there's a wealth of opportunities and positive possibilities that exist, particularly here in Los Angeles, like you mentioned. Actually, one day, this was many years ago, I snowboarded and surfed in the same day.
Right, from Malibu to Big Bear.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See what I did there?
I did.
Okay, we got 60 seconds. What do you want to leave us with?
I want to leave you with, first, thank you for the opportunity to have me here and let me share my vision with your listeners. We have everything we need within us. And for the times that you don't feel like you have everything you need, I'm building a community of men in this instance, a brotherhood, if you will, of men to hold each other up, to lift each other up, and to grow together so that we can achieve and attain our full greatness and our authenticity, evolving into who we are truly meant to be, and to not live in fear of anything or anyone.
Okay, well, what a great note to leave on. Captain Tyrone Davis, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to be talking with Judge Maybleen when we come forward, and we're taking your phone call still, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.